For 3 years, a little girl and a wild lion grew up side by side. They played together. They slept near each other. They built the kind of bond that should not even be possible between a human child and an apex predator. But nobody told her the real reason her parents were raising lions in the first place. And when she finally found out, she did not cry. She did not give up. She ran straight into the African wilderness with her best friend, who happened to weigh 400 pounds and have claws right beside her. This is the story of Mia and the white lion. And by the end of it, you might never look at wildlife conservation the same way again. Mia Owen is 10 years old, and her entire world just got turned upside down. Her family has just left London, the only home she has ever known, to move to South Africa. Her parents, Alice and John, have taken over the lion farm that belonged to John's father, with plans to keep breeding and raising lions there. For Mia's older brother Mick, this move is basically a dream come true. He loves animals, loves the wide open spaces, and adapts to farm life almost instantly. For Mia, it is the opposite of a dream. She does not want to be here. She misses her friends back in London. She struggles at her new school, where she becomes the target of bullying and gets into more than one fight trying to defend herself. Her only connection to her old life is video calls with a friend back home, calls that get more distant and less frequent as time goes on. She feels completely alone. And then something happens that changes everything. A white lion cub is born on the farm. White lions are exceptionally rare, a genetic rarity within the species, and this particular cub immediately captures Mia's heart in a way nothing else in Africa has managed to do. She names him Charlie, and from the very beginning, something unusual happens between them. Mia spends every spare moment with Charlie. She feeds him, plays with him, sleeps near him. As Charlie grows from a tiny cub into a young lion, the bond between them only deepens. For the first time since leaving London, Mia feels like she belongs somewhere. Charlie becomes her best friend, not metaphorically, genuinely, her closest companion, the one she trusts completely, the one who understands her in a way that the human beings around her, for whatever reason, currently do not. This goes on for years. Mia growing from a lonely 10-year-old into a teenager. Charlie growing from a small cub into a full-grown, powerful adult lion. But the closer they become, the more nervous Mia's parents get. As Charlie grows larger and stronger, Alice and John start to worry. A fully grown lion, no matter how he was raised, is still a wild predator with instincts that do not simply disappear because he was bottle-fed as a cub. John, in particular, starts insisting that Charlie needs to be kept in an enclosure, caged, separated from the freedom he and Mia have always shared. Mia is devastated by this. To her, Charlie is not a wild animal that needs to be contained. He is her family. He is the one constant that has made her new life in Africa bearable. She starts sneaking out to visit him anyway, secret visits, late at night or early in the morning, going against her parents' direct instructions because she refuses to accept that her friendship with Charlie has become something to be afraid of. Eventually, her parents discover what she has been doing. And this is where the real story underneath the story finally starts coming into focus. Because Mia's father is not just worried about safety. He has other plans for Charlie. Plans he has not told his daughter about. Mia discovers the truth. The lion farm her family runs is not simply a sanctuary or a breeding operation for conservation purposes, as she had always assumed. Many of the lions raised on farms like this one lions that are bottle-fed by hand, raised in close contact with humans, taught from birth that people are safe, are eventually sold to trophy hunters. The practice is sometimes called canned hunting, breeding lions in captivity, specifically so that wealthy hunters can pay enormous sums of money to shoot them in enclosed areas where escape is essentially impossible. The lions have no real chance. They have been raised around humans their entire lives, which means they often do not even recognize humans with rifles as a threat until it is far too late. And Charlie the lion Mia has loved with her whole heart since the day he was born is on the list to be sold. Her own father is the one who arranged it. Mia is devastated in a way that goes far beyond ordinary grief. This is betrayal layered on top of loss, layered on top of 3 years of a friendship that meant everything to her. The person she trusted most, her own father, was willing to sell her best friend to be killed for sport and never even planned to tell her until it had already happened. She cannot let that happen. Mia makes a decision that will change everything. She is going to free Charlie, not just let him out of his enclosure, actually get him away from the farm entirely, far enough that her father cannot reach him, far enough that he has a real chance at the kind of life a lion is supposed to have. With help from her brother Mick, who, despite loving farm life, cannot stand by and let this happen either, Mia sets her plan into motion. She releases Charlie under cover of darkness, and the two of them set out across the African wilderness together. A 14-year-old girl and a fully grown adult lion, traveling through territory that is unfamiliar, dangerous, and completely unforgiving to anyone who does not know what they are doing. This is not a cute road trip. This is genuinely perilous. They face the threat of other wild predators. They face the physical demands of crossing open plains and rough terrain with no real survival training. And they face the very real possibility that Mia's father, furious and desperate to recover an animal worth a significant amount of money, is coming after them. But Mia refuses to turn back. She owes Charlie this. After everything he has given her, 3 years of companionship when she had nothing and no one else, this is the one thing she can actually do for him in return. As Mia and Charlie make their way deeper into the wild, the bond between them is tested in ways it never has been before. Out here, Charlie is not the cub who slept curled up next to a little girl. He is a fully grown lion in his natural environment, surrounded by the instincts that have always lived inside him, even during the years he spent on the farm. Mia has to trust that the relationship they built is strong enough to survive Charlie being, for the first time, genuinely wild. And it is. Despite the danger, despite the unfamiliar terrain, despite every instinct telling them both that this should not work, it does. Their bond holds. Charlie protects Mia as much as she is trying to protect him, and the journey becomes as much about proving that this friendship was real all along as it is about physically reaching safety. Meanwhile, back at the farm, the consequences of what Mia has done are catching up fast. Her father is searching for them, and the closer he gets, the more urgent the question becomes, will they find a place of genuine safety before he catches up, or will all of this end exactly the way he originally planned? Without spoiling every single beat of how it resolves, here is what you need to know. Mia's journey forces a reckoning within her own family, a confrontation that is less about anger and more about her parents finally having to face what their business actually means, what it costs, and what kind of example it sets for the children they are raising. The ending of this film is less about a dramatic action climax, and more about whether the adults in Mia's life are capable of seeing what she has seen, that an animal raised with love and trust deserves better than to become a transaction. The film closes on a note that is bittersweet but hopeful, leaving the audience with something to actually think about regarding the wildlife industry that exists behind the scenes of stories exactly like this one. It is worth knowing, and this is part of what makes this film stick with people, that it is loosely inspired by real practices that genuinely exist in parts of South Africa, where lion farms breed animals for tourism and companionship, only to eventually sell them into the hunting industry. The filmmakers built this story specifically to shine a light on that practice. So that is Mia and the White Lion. 2018. Dania de Villiers, Melanie Laurent. Directed by Gilles de Maistre. What makes this film genuinely remarkable is that it was not faked. The lion and the children in this story actually grew up together over 3 real years of filming, which means what you are watching on screen is an authentic, documented friendship between a girl and a lion, as they both physically aged in real time. It is a story about loyalty, about the cost of blind trust, and about a kid who chose to do the hard, dangerous, terrifying right thing, instead of the easy, safe, comfortable wrong thing. If this one moved you, hit subscribe. We do this every single week. Full story, no filler, under 15 minutes. And drop a comment, did you know lion farms like this one actually exist? Because most people watching this had no idea. See you in the next one.